Hello everyone, my name is Michel. I've chosen the parable of the sower from Matthew 13, 3 to 9. It says, "And he told them many things in parables, saying, A sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell along the path, and the birds came and devoured them. Other seeds fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil, and immediately they sprang up, since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched, and since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and produced grain, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears, let him hear." The main point of this parable is that God is sovereign and he has everything under control. Before we go any further, allow me to begin by saying context is all important to understand the parable of the sower. After the public controversy with the Pharisees in Matthew 12, when they accused Jesus of doing his miracles by the power of the devil, facing rejection, Jesus turns his attention away from the nation of Israel and begins to prepare his disciples for the ultimate act of rejection, which was his crucifixion on the cross. Jesus begins to use parables to teach the multitude. In verse 10, the disciples came and said to him, "Why do you speak to them in parables?" And according to verses 11 to 17, he begins to teach in parables in order to conceal and reveal his message at the same time. First of all, this parable did not make sense to most of the people who heard Jesus tell it, because they had no clue what he was talking about. Secondly, later in verses 18 to 23, Jesus interpreted the parable for his disciples, something he doesn't do usually. There are two important details here in this passage. First, Jesus did not identify the sower in this parable. And this was intentional, and at the same time it has a massive significance, because the absence of the identification of the sower allows the parable to speak to any and every follower of Jesus Christ who must go out and do the work of sowing seed. Secondly, the text appeals to those of us who are not sowing the seed, but it also appeals to those of us who are doing more than sowing the seed. Here's the bottom line. Never give up sowing seed. No matter how much seed may seem to be wasted, God is in control of the harvest. Even when nothing seems to be happening, keep sowing. Don't give up on anybody, even if you face rejection for the gospel. Because God is sovereign, He's able to take care of the harvest. The harvest belongs to Him. He's in control. Like the old hymn says, sowing seed in the morning, sowing in the noontide and the dewy eve, waiting for the harvest and the time of reaping. We shall come rejoicing, because we shall come rejoicing, building the sheaves. So we have to wait for the harvest. We have to wait for God Himself to do that work. And there's a time of reaping. The time will come. When it comes, it will be a time of joy. Glory to God. What a powerful parable.